Hello and welcome to moinframe. I'm Justus and today is the first video in a series where we are building the moinframe website. The idea for this series is to have a little real-world introduction to Kirby CMS and building websites with it, or better, how I develop websites. So let's start and see where this takes us. All right, let's get started. So what you can see here is on the right hand side is VS Code, my editor. On the left hand side, the Polypane browser, a pretty great browser to develop websites with it. And I've installed my starter kit. It's called Kirby Blaupause, and it's very opinionated to the way I develop websites. But it's a good starting point for that. So feel free to check it out. It's open source, but yeah, it's pretty much built for me and my own brain. It does use the custom folder setup, and I've separated a few folders to make it more enjoyable for me, at least in one repository. So we have the backend folder, which holds basically the Kirby installation and all those templates, snippets, whatever you need. We have a front end folder, which holds the front end, as the name tells, and it does have some predefined styles and scripts just to get a head start. We have a public folder. This is basically the root of the website that holds all those files, and the index.php, which starts up Kirby CMS. We have a scripts folder that's just for purge CSS and SVG generation, and the storage folder, which basically holds all content and accounts and sessions and all that's persistent within the memory of the server. Then we have a bunch of config files. I don't want to get into all of those, but we're using Vite to build our front-end assets. We are using Purge CSS to make the CSS small as possible, and some other linting and development stuff. You can see if you have any questions regarding that, feel free to comment, and I will do my best to answer all those questions. On the left hand side, we can see the back end of the Kirby CMS. I've installed the panel already and put in a username and password for me. But what I want to show you at first is the little logos here. I quite like to customize the panel a bit to my liking, and one of those things is to put in some logos that belong to the site. I think I stole that idea from Toby from his excellent Kirby Baukasten, another template you should have a look at. It's on GitHub, Kirby Baukasten as well. It's a pretty great start for any project with Kirby CMS. And to edit this screen, there is a panel CSS file that gets compiled into CSS as well, and then put in the Kirby panel. If you don't know how to do that, we can open up the config. And there you can see there is the panel key. It's in the ready hook. That's because the Vite plugin has to run in this case, but if you don't use Vite or the Vite plugin by Lukas Kleinschmidt, you don't need this ready hook. You can put in panel and CSS directly in your array of config. And the great thing is, yeah, this puts just a CSS file to the panel, and you can customize basically everything you want to do. All right, so let's delete the really, really big SVG of the Kirby Blaupause. Wow, it's really big. And get rid of this. Just put in URL for now and reload this so you can see. Oh, of course, we have to start the development server that's running with PNPM. I'm using Laravel Valet for development. So we start the server with the PNPM dev, and it will open up the test URL for us to look at. And now the logo is gone and we can put in our own. I've built a little script that's called SVG to CSS. It just converts the given SVG to a base 64 URL to be used in CSS. Put it in, and now we can see it. That's pretty great. We have to fix the height and width. So 74 divided by 16, 4.625 rem. And the height is 6 rem. That's pretty easy. So that's fixed. I think we need a little bit more padding at the bottom, and I want to make it centered. I think that's pretty great for this one. Come on, Copilot, where are you? Translate 50. Yes, that's correct. Well, that's looking pretty cool. All right. We can remove the other logo down there and just get rid of it. Hey, and now we have a custom panel login. I think that's pretty great. So let's log in. All right, we're in the panel. And you can see a bit of the default structure I'm using. Nothing special there. We have our homepage. I'm using a block separated for the hero. There's just a default hero. This is the front page. And reload this one to get it. Yes, that's pretty great. That's just for content separation. So this is like a blocks field that just inherits all heroes. I find this easier for editors to understand. And then we have layouts, and layouts are blocks as well. So I'm not using the Kirby built-in layouts engine. The reasons for that is that I quite like the tabs in buttons for like the settings on a global scale, like this section. And I also like the aesthetics of this, and you can collapse those blocks, which I find pretty useful when there is much content on the website, so you can have it structured a bit. Actually, for in the last Kirby meetup, we had a little discussion regarding these blocks and the layouts. And I think it's the agency Juno that has the icons set to an angle icons. So let's do that full. It's the icon here, angle down, I think should work. Yes, and this makes it a bit clearer to the editor that this might have the option to be collapsed. So that's a pretty neat trick to have. It's not dynamic, so it does not toggle. But maybe that's an idea to look into. Do we have the time to do that? Yeah, maybe. Just come on, let's do it. Let's make a quick excerpt into custom components, because I think we can override this component. Okay, so let's first see how this component is built. Yes, get to GitHub in the Kirby repository, because there you can see the panel folder, and the panel folder is not included. It's the source of the panel, and the source is not included in every installation. So if you install Kirby, you might not see this folder on your machine. That's why we are digging into the source code in GitHub. And we can go to source and components, and this is like the collection of all view components for the backend. We have to go to forms and blocks. That's where we need to be, and types. And right now the full width template block, or the layout block, is set to preview fields. So this fields.view file is what gets rendered in the backend. So this is the one. So it is collapsible, and it does show all blocks with direct fields access, basically. All right. And we can see we have a computed property. No, it's a state called collapsed. and it does hide or show the form based on the Boolean values. So show the fields or don't show the fields. And the header actually is the K-block title. This is what draws the icon and the title into the block. So basically this section, I think. All right, so let's see. It's a different view component. It should be in blocks, elements, block title. There it is. Yeah, and this has the icon and the name. And to override it, we just grab it. Of course, this is not like recommended way to to override view components. You can do it, but be sure to check with updates. This might break, especially when the Kirby team changes some view components, which they regularly do in updates. But in the case of this experiment, we can do so. I think I have a, yeah, this is like, there's a blocks preview plugin. And this is basically a Kirby app plugin. It uses Kirby app to compile a view into plain JavaScript. And we have an index.js in the source folder, and this does extend a few elements already. And we can extend or override components, basically can override it the same way. So yeah, K-block title is the correct name. Then we import a not yet ready file called block title, and in the components we create a new file called block title.view. So we paste in the copied code from GitHub, and be sure to make the Kirby app development server run. So in my case, that's pnpm blocks dev, but you just have to go to your plugin directory and run the Kirby app plugin. And if we look at the backend right now, nothing would be changed. But if we remove the name and set it should be lorem and reload the backend, now the all components are named lorem. So that's not great. Let's move it back. But the connection between the front end and backend is already working, so that's pretty nice. Or the overriding of this component. And now we look at the icon itself, and the icon itself is a computed property, so we can change this. It does access the field set icon. That's what you define in the blueprint. And we can change that. The default value is a box. That's when you don't define an icon on a custom block, then the box icon will be used. And actually this, we have this parent, and this parent is basically the parent view component, which is the custom block itself, so the layout full width in this case. And the layout does have the collapse state, as we can look at it again. If we go to blocks, types, fields, so this is the parent, right? It's the parent element of this one we are overriding. And it does have the collapsed property in its data properties. So we can access this and can say collapsed. Yes, when it is collapsed, we want to show the angle up, right? No, angle down is right. Oh my God. And if it does not collapse, then we show default the angle up. Yes. So let's reload. We have the angle down defined. Let's remove our icon definement completely. And now we have the angle down. And if we open it up, we have the angle up. So that's pretty great. I mean, does it make sense to override this component? No. But is it cool that it works like this pretty easily? Yes, it's pretty cool. So that's another really big benefit in Kirby, that the default styling and the default components are really great, but if you need or if you want to change something, um, it's pretty much not that far to overwrite something or extend something to make it your own. So this one, it's not the ideal scenario because it does work for all blocks. So yeah, maybe let's keep it for now, and let's see if we run into errors with it. But I quite like the idea to have like this little toggle in the layout section. Maybe we can refactor like to make it only like this if it's a layout. That would be possible. But yeah, let's move on. All right, so let's get back to the original project of building this website. Although it was pretty interesting to have a look at those components, I hope. Okay, let's make a plan on what to do with this website. I think I will grab the README file and yeah, write down like yeah, why not set up? Okay. So first we want to have the front page of the website. I think this should hold like some basic information and maybe links to the social media channels. But the second thing I want to do is have the videos that I publish on the website also. So you could just use embeds from YouTube, for example. That's pretty easy, but there is a new commercial plugin in the works from Toby that I really want to look at. It's basically an importer for Instagram and YouTube. And that should be pretty great if it does work the way I intended to use. So maybe have like a videos page that displays like all videos without the without the need for the platform. So that would be pretty great. Yeah, blocks maybe Codepilot is a bit getting out of hand. So yeah, maybe there will be blocks, but I mean, at first, let's do like a front page for the project, and then do a video page, and then let's work on new further ideas. Yeah, to see what we are doing. Okay. So the first things will just be a bit of front end code and the layout itself. So I think I will work that out and show you the results. So I've put in a bunch of styles for colors and typography. And now I'm editing the header. And one thing I want to do is to display the logo icon in the header. And we can, of course, use an image tag, but since this is an SVG we are dealing with, we can import it with the Vite plugin. So Vite asset, it's not directly in assets, it's in images, logo. This gives us the file URL. And then we can use Kirby's toolkit to read the file and put it in directly. So let me add the class for that. It's Kirby toolkit F, the file class, and oh, it's file system. Ah, it's file system F, is it? Right. And this read method basically spits out the content of the logo SVG file, which is this. So pretty great to use it like this. So we can animate it or change the color if we want. For the other styles, I'm using a custom CSS framework I've built a couple of years ago. It's what I'm used to, so I quite like this. But it's not like the production ready best system in the world, but it does come from those old days with Bootstrap, which I really hated, and then Bulma I quite liked, and it does build up on CSS variables, and it comes with a set of helper styles to build out sections, containers, and columns and that stuff. And yeah, that's what I'm using here. So if you're confused what it is, yeah, it's called Clear CSS. Um, all right, I've put in the brand colors, and the header and the logo is there. So I think that's time to think about the content of the front page. Okay, so we have put in some copy from our YouTube channel, and I think I want to include my face in the headline. So the headline is rendered through the block default hero, and it uses the asset manager. It's a plugin I wrote, which makes it possible to include certain styles or scripts based on the block itself. So it will only render or add the CSS if the block is present on the website. So that's why we can edit the hero default CSS file, which is directly connected to the hero itself. So we can toggle the background to make the background red. So yeah, pretty great. Let's don't do this. What I want to do is to have my face in this headline, and for that we want to use like a character where we want to insert this this face, this face of mine. um, and maybe this should be the brackets Justus, so my name. We could split this sentence at this position and insert my face in it. I think that would make sense. So let's see. There is the split method. Okay, so we can split the text at a given string. So in this case, it's brackets my name, Justus. And we get, in this case, two strings, like an array with two strings from it. And we concat them again together with a for each loop. But at position index 1, we want to insert an avatar. So, oh, PHP and if. Sometimes this is really annoying. The code pilot. I'm still trying to get used to it. Sometimes it's pretty great, but sometimes it's weird. On for that we will use a snippet that will hold the avatar itself. So let's create a new snippet, avatar.php, and there it is. Wow, that's me. All right, and then we want to include some styling for that. So I want to make this specific for this avatar snippet. I will copy the class right here, put it in. So we get like, this is just for the types, right? If you hover this, it's typed then. And the same goes for the $block variable. And this should import the CSS for avatar CSS in the snippets, not blocks folder. So in the front end, I will add a new styles snippets folder, snippets. And then we will add the avatar CSS file in here. All right, so I've put in some styling and I've added the a span to the avatar snippet, or surrounding the avatar snippet. That is to make sure we can set the avatar to position absolute to not interfere with the line height. So we can change the height of the avatar and still it does not affect the line height of the sentence, which is quite nice, but let's keep it to 120 for now. All right, so that's pretty simple. We have built in a placeholder without any Kirby tags. We could use Kirby tags as well, but this is like a very simple option to make it so we can put it on any position we would like this image to have. And yeah, I think it does work for now. Alright, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. It was a bit different, for me at least, so let me know what you think if you like this format and want to look further into this moinframe website with me. I quite enjoyed it, so yeah, let me know what you think, and see you in the next video. Bye!